Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is your entrepreneurship tutor, Professor Henry M. Bwisa of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, Kenya. Today, this is a lecture for students of the unit research. And today, we want to talk about research methods. So let's define research. Research can be defined as a group of methods used to generate new knowledge or use the existing knowledge in newer creative ways in order to generate state-of-the-art concepts, methods, as well as understanding the existing theories in a new light. And what about method? Method is a procedure or a process for attaining an object, a way, technique, or a process for doing something. So then, what are research methods? Research methods are concerned with the various research processes, procedures, and tools, techniques of gathering information, various ways of analyzing them. Research problems can be categorized into two basic sections: qualitative research and quantitative research. Researchers may use one or both of these methods, we call mixed method, in their research studies. The type of research method you choose will depend on your research questions or problem and research design. The main aim of a research study is to produce new knowledge or deepen the existing understanding of a field. This can be done in various forms. So, research methods are broadly classified as qualitative and quantitative. Both methods have distinctive properties and the data collection methods. Qualitative methods. Qualitative research is a method that collects data using conversational methods, usually open-ended questions. The responses collected are essentially non-numerical. This method helps a researcher understand what participants think and why they think in a particular way. So there we are. We have some types of qualitative research. We have ethnographic research, case study, grounded theory, phenomenological method, narrative method, and statistical method, to mention a few. Now, ethnographic is the study of people in their own environments. A case study is an intensive study of a person, group, or unit. Grounded theory is a study in whose data is grounded at theory. Phenomenological study describes, understands, and interprets meanings of human life experiences. And the narrative study or narrative method, exploration and conceptualization of storied human experiences. And finally, historical method, a study topic in its earliest phases to current developments. So these are some types of qualitative research. Now, qualitative research methods will include in-depth interviewing, literature review, participant observation, open-ended surveys, focus groups, direct observation. Now, when you come to quantitative methods deal with numbers and measurable forms. It uses a systematic way of investigating events or data. It answers questions to justify relationships with measurable variables to either explain, predict, or control a phenomenon. Types of quantitative methods would include survey research, descriptive research, correlational research. Remember, research is only valuable and useful when it's valid, accurate, and reliable. Incorrect results can lead to customer churn and a decrease in sales. That is talking of business research students. Quantitative research, as we saw, can be a survey research, correlation research, causal comparative research, or experimental research. Those are some types of quantitative research. We can go further and talk of quantitative research as non-experimental and experimental. Non-experimental are descriptive and correlational, but experimental are quasi-experimental and pure experimental. We can still go further and talk of quantitative research methods as non-experimental research methods using observational research method, archived data research method, and survey research method. But experimental research methods use pre-experimental research method, quasi-experimental research method, true experimental research method, and single subject research method. So we're now in a position to compare qualitative and quantitative research. The purpose. Qualitative research is to explore. Quantitative research is to understand. Questions. In qualitative research, questions are not standardized. But in quantitative research, questions are standardized. The instrument, key instrument, in qualitative research, it can be a camera or a recorder. But in quantitative research, it's a questionnaire or form. Sample size. In qualitative research, normally very small samples, therefore not representative. In quantitative research, they are large representative samples. Now, analysis. In qualitative research is largely subjective. Quantitative research is largely objective. The result. In qualitative research, the result is tentative, but in quantitative research is conclusive. We can put it the other way around. Qualitative research ends up with a hypothesis. Therefore, it is hypothesis generating. But quantitative research tests hypothesis. So it starts with a hypothesis. Now, let's elaborate or put it in a different way. The research methods. Qualitative methods understand the nature or quality of a phenomenon. They pose questions: who, what, how, when, why, and use observation, interview, focus group, surveys. But when we come to quantitative, this is understand the magnitude of an occurrence or an association. We mainly ask the question, how much? It is observational or interventional. Let's still have a look at it from another point of view. Qualitative and quantitative. The focus of qualitative is quality or meaning of experience. But the focus of quantity or quantitative is quantity, frequency, magnitude. The philosophical roots of qualitative is constructivism, interpretivism. But quantitative is positivism. The goal of investigation, qualitative, understand, describe, discover. But quantitative is predict, control, confirm, test. The design characteristics in qualitative is flexible, evolving, and emergent. But quantitative is structured and predetermined. Data collection In qualitative, the researcher has the instrument, but in quantitative, the external instruments, the tools, surveys, and so on and so forth. So let's look at this slide. We're looking at a research method. We want to see whether it's primary or secondary, whether it's qualitative or quantitative, and when we can use it. So experiment is primary, is quantitative. We use it to test cause and effect relationship. Survey is primary, is quantitative. We use it to understand general characteristics of a population. Interview, focus group, it's primary, it's qualitative. We use it to gain more in-depth understanding of a topic. Observation is primary, it's both quantitative, qualitative. We use it to understand how something occurs in its natural setting. Literature review, it is secondary. It's either qualitative, can be either qualitative or quantitative. We use it to situate research in an existing body of work or to evaluate trends within a research topic. Case study can be either primary or secondary. It can be either qualitative or quantitative. We use it to gain an in-depth understanding of a specific group or context, or when you don't have the resources for a large study. Statistical analysis is quantitative. We use it to analyze data collected in a statistically valid manner, like from experiments, surveys, and observations. Meta-analysis is quantitative. We use it to statistically analyze the results of a large collection of studies. Can only be applied to studies that collected data in a statistically valid manner. Thematic analysis, this is qualitative. We use it to analyze data collected from interviews, focus groups, or textual sources to understand the general themes in the data and how they are communicated. Content analysis, it can be either quantitative or qualitative. We use it to analyze large volumes of textual or visual data collected from surveys, literature reviews, or other sources. We can be quantitative, like frequencies of words, or qualitative, meanings of words. So, how do you decide which research method to use? The research method you use depends on the type of data you need to answer your research question. If you want to measure something or test a hypothesis, use quantitative methods. If you want to explore ideas, thoughts, and meanings, use qualitative methods. If you want to analyze a large amount of readily available data, use secondary data. If you want data specific to your purposes with control over how it's generated, then collect primary data. If you want to establish cause and effect relationship between variables, use experimental methods. But if you want to understand the characteristics of a research subject, use descriptive methods. Yes, we can go further and again look at choosing research method. Now, ask yourself, does the question involve opinion or behavior? Yes, if it involves opinion, ask another question. Can the respondent answer accurately? Now, if yes, you think the respondent can answer accurately, then use exploratory or precision research. Exploratory will be individual interviews, focus groups, and so on and so forth. Precision will be surveys. But if it's no, it's neither exploratory or precision research, then use projective methods. These are methods where respondents project their views on others. Like you ask this respondent to give you information about the other respondent. Now, if the question is behavior, then you ask yourself, can behavior be well observed? If yes, then use observational, e.g., how long does a shopper take, what does she look at, etc., etc. Now, if it is not, then use experimentation, determine causality, e.g., impact study. Yes, let's again look at research methods and when we can use them. Qualitative. Use qualitative when unsure of variables. If the topic is new, the sample population is unexplored by the topic, or dominant explanations do not apply to a given sample. If you want to understand hard to quality concepts and meanings, then use qualitative. But in terms of quantitative, use it when testing causal relationships, factors influencing a particular outcome, when evaluating the usefulness or success of an intervention, when establishing which factors best predict an outcome, when testing theories or explanations. Yes. And now, finally, let us look at a general research process. It starts with formulating the research problem, then extensive literature survey, then developing the hypothesis, then preparing the research design, then determining sample designs, then collecting the data, execution of the project, analysis of data, hypothesis testing, generalization and interpretation, then preparation of the report, and so on and so forth. However, look at it. We have talked about qualitative and quantitative. We have said qualitative is theory generating, hypothesis generating. Quantitative is theory testing, hypothesis testing. Therefore, this process is largely for quantitative studies. Let's now superimpose the qualitative aspect. But first of all, we are saying all research must start with the problem. Don't start elsewhere. And at that link, Buisa has advised students to start proposal writing with the problem statement. Now, look at the arrow, the red arrows. These now represent qualitative research process. Because qualitative research does not start with a hypothesis, it ends proposing a hypothesis. Therefore, from research problem, extensive literature survey, in qualitative, we're not going to propose a hypothesis. So that stage 3 is skipped and go on to stage 4 and continue preparing the research design until we do data analysis. Remember, there was no hypothesis set at the beginning, and therefore there cannot be any hypothesis testing. And therefore, qualitative research, from analysis of data, you go to preparation of the report. Again, we have skipped generalization because we said qualitative normally is a small sample. It can be in a case study, and therefore we cannot generalize from a small sample. So here we are, the general quantitative research process, and we have also indicated qualitative research process with the arrow, the red arrows. Yes, this is the end. I hope we can now differentiate our research methods. Thank you.